I've been using Spike Prime since 2020 when it first came out, and there's been a lot of people having issues with the hub, and I've made videos about that, but today I'm really going to focus on the battery inside the hub because it's important to maintain a healthy battery. If you can maintain healthy batteries, then it's going to save you money. They'll last longer and they'll be more awesome and less frustrating. So check this video out. I've got 18 tips for you on how to maintain perfect battery life. I've got this custom built box that I made with timber and stuff to store all my hubs in. I don't really take my batteries out very often. I usually leave them in there. I have a 10-port charger, and if I store them in here and I have the charger holes facing up, then they can easily be charged. If they've got a red light like this, then they're not fully charged, but if they're green, apparently they are fully charged. You can actually see how charged they are if you connect them to an iPad. iPad letter C's coming out because I always match my iPads to my hubs. If you go into Spike Prime app, Spike Prime, and then if you start a new project and go up here to where you normally connect and just go through the process of connecting. Now on your screen, if you tap here, you can see the battery life. So this battery life says 100%. This is also where you can rename your hub if you wanted to. So that mine's always matching the iPad. But that's where you can see how much it is right there. Okay, and say I put these in here and I was just going to leave them in there for quite a long time, then the battery life should be at 100% when you put it in there. Okay, it's very bad practice to put, your hubs in there and store your batteries for more than 3 months if the batteries are flat to start with. So make sure they're charged when you store them. Okay, also if they're going to be stored for longer than 3 months, then you need to take the batteries out. Anyway, so you take the batteries out if you're going to store them for more than 3 months. Okay, and you really should charge them at least every 3 months if you can. And they can stay in there the whole time if you use them on a regular basis, but if you know they're going into storage for a long time, it's a good idea to make sure they're fully charged and make sure that you have taken the batteries out even. Okay, I don't usually take them out because I use them a lot, but especially over holiday periods you might need to take them out. Another thing that you should avoid is to have them stored in a humid place. Okay, they don't like humidity and moisture. Something that you could do is add some desiccant packs. You can see inside here I've got some little tiny packets of desiccant which absorb moisture, and I think that helps. Even though I don't live in a humid environment, it's good to maybe have some desiccant packets. And if you don't want to buy, I bought mine on eBay, but if you don't want to buy them, then you could just go through some old shoe boxes maybe. There's desiccant packets in a lot of things that you buy that are delivered to you. So have a look, see if you can save up your desiccant packets rather than just chucking them out. Save them up, stick them in there. Ideally, if you can store them in temperatures between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius or 59 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, then that's good practice. Okay, if it's too cold or too hot, it can damage them. Okay, don't leave them in the car, don't leave them in direct sunlight. It's the fastest way to degrade a battery is to get them too overheated. Okay, now these cables are pretty good and pretty reliable. Some kids and some of my robots have pushed these in the wrong way or pushed them this way and they've actually damaged the battery. So just make sure that if you are charging them, you've got someone who is responsible enough not to force things if things aren't going well, but to put things in gently. Okay, that's why I have those little stickers on there, because I know everyone that I ask to charge them for me, well, I always get told that the sticker goes at the bottom. When you're charging, the sticker goes towards the bottom, and then they put it in the right way every time and they're not going to damage them. Okay. I leave the batteries in as much as possible. This part here, these little prongs in here and here can get damaged, and sometimes if the hub even gets shaken, it disconnects from the battery. So one piece of advice that I picked up on the internet was just to fold a tiny piece of cardboard and put that in the end. It makes the whole thing a bit tighter. So if there's a bit of cardboard in the end, then it won't come loose if it's shaken, okay? And that's a good way to preserve your battery. The number one piece of advice that I can give you regarding maintenance of these things is don't stick a screwdriver or anything into here. If you think it's a bit loose in the connections, if you start putting a screwdriver or something in there and just, if you make them more narrow or more wide or whatever to make them fit better into here, then you actually can damage them, and you can damage this part too, okay? And if that gets damaged, then the battery doesn't work properly ever again. So don't stick things in there, and don't stick things in there thinking you're going to fix it. The best piece of advice is to put a little piece of cardboard or paper in there just to make the whole battery sit a bit tighter in there, okay? But you really shouldn't need to take the batteries out much at all. So another good thing to do before you go on holidays is just to connect your hub to your device, and after you're connected, when you go up here and see those little three dots here, those tiny little three dots, if you tap on there, then you can reset the firmware on the hub, and that means it's going to update it to the latest version. Takes a few steps, okay, and you'll see it updating down the bottom here, but that means that you'll have the latest version on your hub, and that means that hopefully if you have a break, it'll work more reliably. What could happen is that while you're away, someone could possibly update the devices and then it doesn't work with the newest, the hub firmware because you haven't updated it for a long time. So it's good just to update it. It's more of a hub trick than it is a battery trick, but it's relevant because it's looking after your hub and battery while you're away, if you're going to go away for a long period of time. Another good tip is after you've been on a long break, is to charge them up again before you use them. Rather than just starting to use them straight away, make sure they're fully charged before you start using them again. That'll help your battery life. May the power source be with you. And also, if you have any other issues with Spike Prime, check out a lot of my troubleshooting videos on my channel and other cool stuff to do with Spike Prime. And all my other sets of robots.